On this episode of Modern Greaser, we are looking at this beautiful thing. It's a Volkswagen Thing, a 1973 Volkswagen Thing. The 1973 Volkswagen Thing was something that you could purchase in the United States in the 1970s because Germany was allowing them for civilian purchase here in the United States. That's because back when it was West Germany in the 1960s, these were prior military vehicles. There's a lot of cosmetic features and utilitarian features on this vehicle because it was prior military use. The doors, the windows, so many different things, the floors, the holes in the floors, all the different things are very Jeep-like. The windshield that folds down.
During World War II, German soldiers would string tight wire across roadways in order to kill and injure American GIs in their Jeeps that had their windshields folded down. American GIs installed wire cutters on the front of their Jeeps to combat this issue. I wonder if the Germans ever thought about karma when they designed the fold-down windshields.
Why is it called the Volkswagen Thing? Well, in the 1970s when they came available for purchase here in the United States, they were gonna name it the Safari, which is actually what they named them down in Mexico. But we already had the Pontiac Safari here in the United States, so they came up with the name Thing. That's pretty cool, and it really stuck. These are a very collectible, cool thing. The guy that you know, a good friend of mine who has the Volkswagen Squareback, heard about this thing. He goes, tell that guy who owns the thing that I'll trade him my Squareback tomorrow because I freaking do things, and he lost his mind. Yeah, because any Volkswagen enthusiast knows how cool and rare and collectible these are. You can lower them to the ground, you can put them just the way they are, you can add a turbo. There's so many different really cool, neat things, and there's so many features about this that I don't even know. So there's lots of guys out there doing car reviews, and in 2016, good old Doug DeMuro did a review on the Volkswagen Thing. Good old Doug DeMuro picked on this car because it doesn't have safety features. Oh, it would be so dangerous and things like that. Well, I'm sorry, Doug DeMuro, this car was built in the 60s, so not a lot of cars in the 60s had any safety features. So there's problem number one. Number two, this is a military vehicle. Even some of the current military vehicles aren't gonna have the same safety features as stuff that are coming out in 2020. So you gotta give this car a break. So if you saw his review on it, just don't go watch it. Watch this review because Modern Greaser has you covered. Let's look at this vehicle for what it was designed for and not what it was not designed for. So there's a lot of cool features about this car that are really, really neat. The Volkswagen Thing is so cool and so unique that it uses the air from the spare tire to force out the windshield washer fluid onto the windows of this car. How neat of a feature is that? And not only that, but do you see this thing over here that says, "The Heizer dat Ufen. I don't know, there's a bunch of German words. All right, so the owner of this car was telling me today that, well, number one, this is the fuel tank. So all your gasoline is sitting here, go figure. This here is your reserve tank. So if you run out of fuel, there's a little gasoline that is here to help you out. But this right here is the preheater, because you think of a Volkswagen, it's air cooled, it's got the engine in the far back, it's gotta push all that air to the front of the vehicle so it's not gonna get warm. So this actually utilizes the gasoline from the engine with this preheater, and that is what ignites and heats this car. So this is the whole setup right here that actually is giving you air via your gas tank. Kind of looks like a bomb to me. Isn't that awesome? Wow, so this is the first time I just sat down in this, and this feels glorious. It is so cool feeling in here. This is, usually I don't like to talk about my feelings in a car, but this is really exciting. So this actually has the windows that pull up like an old Jeep Wrangler, like an, actually, you know, I had a 2000 Jeep Wrangler. It's the same thing. It's just two metal pins that slide into the door, and this whole window pops up, which is really cool. The doors lift off. With that preheater that uses a glow plug to actually ignite the gasoline to heat this thing up, there's actually a temperature where you can turn it to the right or the left, and the further you turn it, it actually gives you 20 minutes of extended heat. So you can turn it and it'll work for about 20 minutes. It's like a little timer. And then over here there's a temp knob, and then you pull that out, and the further you pull that out is how you get the temperature working, which we're not gonna mess with because I'm not gonna go setting this young man's beautiful car on fire. Wow, there is one gauge in this car. This thing is so beautiful. There is one gauge right here. It has your odometer, your speed, and the gas tank. That is all you need. That is cool. That is really neat. So I thought I felt bad when the diesel truck only has 3 gauges. This one's got it beat. Well, I guess technically it's got a couple lights, hazard switches. Oh, I love how bare bones this is. This is fantastic. So you're looking at the numbers matching original engine, which is a 1600cc, 47 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle engine. Oh, I just called it a Beetle. I'm joking, I know this is a thing. It's just weird calling a thing, because a car is an inanimate object, it's a thing. This is a 47 horsepower Volkswagen Thing, 1600cc, flat something or another engine, because I don't know anything about Volkswagens. Flat, what's it called? Flat floor, flat 46. It's a 46 horsepower, 1600cc, flat 4 Volkswagen Thing engine. So one of the unique features about this vehicle is it also has a wood floor that keeps your feet off the ground. Now, I don't know about you, but if you have a metal floor and you're cold over in Germany and your feet are on the metal floor, that's terrible. So the wood is keeping your feet above it. That's my guess. Or if it's wet and it's sloshing around under there, or if you have snow and it's going down below it and there's holes and it's leaking out. I think it's very utilitarian. Now, there's probably gonna be some of you guys out there that probably know more of the actual reason why there's the wood slatted floor. Hey, feel free to comment, fill me in on this. I don't really know much about this car other than it is a glorious, one of the coolest Volkswagens there is. This thing actually has a roll bar in it. How sweet is that? So one thing you might notice about this vehicle, that's Volkswagen Beetle exhaust. The stock exhaust would have came through the bumpers like a Corvette. Some people might ask the question, is the Volkswagen Thing amphibious? Well, it is not, even though its masculine styling makes one presume that it is capable. During the 1960s, several European governments began cooperating on developing a vehicle to be known as the Europa Jeep, a lightweight amphibious vehicle with four-wheel drive capabilities. With West Germany in need of a light, durable, inexpensive transport vehicle, the Type 181 was born. The Type 181 Volkswagen took many of its characteristics away from the Kübelwagen, a lightweight vehicle designed by Ferdinand Porsche during World War II for use by the German military, known as the Type 262 around 1938. Many other modifications to the vehicle brought about the name the Type 82. The air-cooled engine was highly tolerant of hot and cold climates, and it was less vulnerable to bullets due to the lack of the radiator. And remember earlier when I mentioned that it has an auxiliary fuel tank? Well, for starting under harsh winter conditions, a specialty volatile starting fuel was required, and it was contained in a small auxiliary fuel tank. I know you guys aren't really fans, you just want to see John's car. What's the video for? Yeah. I have a really dumb YouTube channel that you shouldn't waste your time checking out.
What is it about?
Cars.
It's a nice car.
Modern Greaser.
I know this is a
73.
It's a, isn't it like a war Jeep or?
So thanks for joining us on yet another episode of Modern Greaser. Make sure you hit that like button if you like this video. Make sure you hit that like button if you hated this video. Make sure you subscribe. I really have to think about that word subscribe because I always say it wrong every single time. William! What was I going to talk about?